So hey, it's Total Clarity. The X is still silent, if you were wondering. I filmed this video 3 or 4 different times and it just doesn't want to focus today. So that's why if you see like me over here and then like me over here and then like the lens is like you know why. So today I want to talk about mental illness. I want to preface this video by saying I'm not a professional in any way, shape, or form. I'm not a therapist and I do not know everything. Certainly I do not know everything. There are plenty of issues that people have that I know nothing about and they're struggling with them every day. I can only offer you my experiences with my illnesses and my issues. And I think that it's fitting because May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And I tried to say that before and I said mental healthness. And although it will be in my usual joking about everything to cope manner, there are things that I have to mention that are pretty depressing. It's not a fun subject. Things that I'm gonna be mentioning are about like depression and anxiety and my struggle with them, suicide attempt. So I'm gonna timestamp everything in the description so you know where everything is. But yeah, I hope that some things that are in this video can help you, can maybe be relatable, because I know there is a ton of stigma around mental illness. So the first thing that I want to talk about is right at this moment versus the forever and ever. So I know when I'm having an emotional breakdown, sometimes I just want somebody to listen to me, like cry and sob and bitch about my problems, because at that moment I feel like it's never ever going to end. I feel like there is no bright side, there is no way out, there is no future. And I know for a fact that that's not true. I know, but at that moment it doesn't really help hearing somebody say it because it just makes me upset. I don't know. And there's nothing wrong with telling somebody something positive. Your intentions are probably good. You're trying to make them feel better. Just know that you don't always have to offer solutions. And you yourself, you don't have to have a solution. Nobody really knows what's gonna happen. Your suffering is relative. This brings us to the other people have it worse, so don't complain. Unfortunately, there are people out there that are suffering worse than you, but that doesn't mean you're not suffering. I know that a lot of people are, but you should not be embarrassed to tell people that you're suffering, to ask for help, because there are people who are suffering worse than you, because you have value. So whenever I film a video, I watch back the footage and 70 to 80% of the time I'm dissociating and I'm just, usually actually it's to the side. I'm just staring and like I'm not aware that I'm doing it. Something that's also really important is taking care of yourself. Take care of yourself first. I don't care what you have to do. It's not as important as taking care of your mental health.
I want you guys to know that I have mental illness since middle school.
I became aware that I had depression at age 13 or 14. And since then I've taken medication this whole time. I'm 23. But there's nothing wrong with taking medication. My first medication worked for me for a long time and then it stopped working because I had such a high tolerance for it that it just didn't do anything anymore. So recently I changed. My mailman is yelling. He's always yelling. So next is the desire to die versus the will to actually go through with it. If you are depressed, you probably, unfortunately, know the feeling of this huge wave of sadness crashing over you, and you feel like you're drowning, and you feel pain all over, and you feel absolutely insignificant, and you think that the world would be a better place without you. And people can tell you that you have worth and you have value and that you're important and that they love you, but this feeling doesn't go away. You think in your head and you're like, I want to die, I want to die, I want to die. I feel like that is something that I think and feel a lot, but there's a difference between that and going through with it. So although I have the desire and like I want kind of thing, there is really no will. There's no will to do it. There's no will to go through with it, which is a good thing because people struggle. There is a will there, unfortunately, and that is something that is really hard to get out of because there's a danger to yourself. So thankfully I'm not a danger to myself. This isn't like a please like alert somebody. Like everybody already knows this. That's in my life. Everybody already knows these things about me, and they're here to support me, which is amazing. I'm so thankful. And you know, you can ask people in your life, which I encourage doing, is ask people in your life how they're doing beyond like a surface level of like, how are you? Like people are always gonna say fine and they're always gonna say good, or they're always gonna be like, I'm just tired, you know? It's a fucking lie. Like break through that surface and get to what's like really going on, because if you care enough about a person, you will do that, or at least you'll try. Because some people, and there's always this thing where it's like, if they want help, they'll get help. How are we supposed to help them if they don't help themselves? Just go that extra step for somebody that you care about, or that you haven't really seen in a while, you haven't really spoken to in a while, because that might be what they need to get themselves help. And no, you're not in charge of somebody else's life. You can't make decisions for them. But it's an important thing to do if you consider somebody a friend or you value them. Somebody extremely close to me, probably exactly a year ago, attempted suicide, and I found them. And it was an extremely traumatic thing for me, and they spent a lot of time in the hospital, in the psych ward, just getting better, and thankfully, they're all better now, completely back to normal. Truly, honestly, could not live without them. So seeing them completely recover and come back and just be back to normal is incredible, amazing. I'm so thankful. They're such a strong person, and they're stronger because of it. And I feel like people who need help are embarrassed. They're embarrassed to go to therapy. They're embarrassed to go to the hospital. They're embarrassed to talk to somebody. They're embarrassed to reach out. I'm currently looking for a therapist, and I know that will help me a lot. It's cool. It's cool. So I hope me rambling about mental illness did something for you. I hope. The point of this video is just to kind of get it out there. I love you very much, and I will see you later.